Hey guys, so we do have some updates on Bryan Kohberger's case, and it's a doozy. We have other male DNA found at the crime scene that was never tested. Not that I think he's not the person that did this, but listen to the reasons they never ran it. And let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments. Could this be what sets Bryan Kohberger free? Let me know.
Can you help Bryan and me with something here? We were all just a little kind of flummoxed by that did not meet the criteria. The two other blood samples, the one from the railing in the house, don't know if it's first or second floor, basement or middle floor, or third floor, or the blood in the glove found outside. What does that mean when the prosecutors might say it didn't meet the criteria to feed it into CODIS to try to match it up with other people?
Well, good to be back with you, Ashley. Hello, Bryan. So here's the deal. CODIS users have to adhere to some strict eligibility guidelines before you can enter a profile. And that's because back when Congress enacted the law back in 1994 called the DNA Act, it recognized that the creation of this database would contain genetic data. So they wanted to ensure that only the genetic information from criminal perpetrators was entered. And so the evidence here must be linked to the perpetrator. So for example, if you have a murder that takes place at a party house, that's what you correctly describe this house as, investigators could seize empty beer bottles. And if there's a DNA profile on the beer bottles and the investigators want to send it up to CODIS, they cannot. It's ineligible because although it could be linked to a perpetrator, it could just as easily be linked to someone who's uninvolved. So they want to protect those who are uninvolved. So whether it's beer bottles or whether it's gloves found outside or handrails inside the house, which may or may not be linked to the floor where the murders occurred, it's the same thing. They're not eligible to be entered into CODIS.
It's so bizarre. I just assumed if there was blood on a piece of evidence anywhere in a house where 4 murders happened, you want to find out who those people are and then clear them. But it's shocking that CODIS has that kind of strict requirement. Bizarre. And I get it. Having DNA, a speck of it on a knife sheath, that's a whole other ballgame, right? That's the murder weapon. How about this other issue? Right. How about this other issue that Bryan and I were just talking about? And that is that Ann Taylor says, and I'll repeat it because the wording matters here. She said, police found absolutely no connection between Kohberger and anybody from 1122 King. There's no blood in his car. He wasn't connected to that house, to the people in that house. No blood in his car, but she doesn't say there was no blood in his apartment, no blood on his things. She stopped at car. Can we take her at face value that she meant all of that when she said no connection to the people in that house?
Ann Taylor is a savvy lawyer. When she says car, she means car. And I point you to the excellent argument from one counselor, Ashley Banfield, who said that that car wasn't found until 6 weeks after the murders. 6 weeks, a long time for someone who is a doctoral student, who's used to researching this kind of stuff, to know how to get rid of evidence, to wash the car, to be able to sanitize all the insides of the car. And I think that's what happened. I think this guy, to me, clearly did it. And he took great pains to try to dispose of all the evidence. And in the end, they have his DNA on the knife sheath. That's the biggest evidence here. They also have him driving the car that was used. They also have him using his cell phone before the murders to scope it out, although the cell phone was turned off during the murders. How interesting that the only time his cell phone was turned off was right during the murders. He's an unlucky guy, just like his alibi, where he said he was searching for stars, looking at stars at that time of night. No witnesses, of course. He was just out there stargazing in his hardtop Hyundai in the middle of winter. Okay.